My sister, 23F, cheated on her boyfriend, 23M, and he's about to propose. So my younger sister grew close to one of her boyfriend's friends last summer. Her boyfriend was studying for the MCAT in his free time and wasn't spending as much time with her. So she began to hang out with the male friend. Her boyfriend said he trusted her and he wasn't worried or jealous. He should have been. She asked her boyfriend for a break and then slept with the male friend. She reported to me that the affair was an empty experience. She got back with her boyfriend right after. Her boyfriend was confused when the longtime male friend suddenly stopped speaking to him. My sister never said a word. She left her boyfriend think he'd offended his friend or something. She asked me to never tell. Fast forward to 2024. Valentine's Day is approaching. Her boyfriend texted me asking for my help in setting up a heartfelt proposal for her. I cannot help with this in good conscience. I feel I'd be complicit in her sin. Their marriage would be started on a lie. Tonight, I encouraged her to tell him what happened last summer. She said they were on a break and it doesn't matter. But it does. She asked for the break with ulterior motives. The truth will come out. How can I say no to helping with the proposal? I can't be involved with this. Next story. I, 23M, accidentally hurt my partner, 21F, she's calling it abuse. How do I talk to her while respecting her feelings? So me and my partner went to a concert last night. I bought the tickets for her birthday. We were both drinking and running off of a few hours of sleep because I had taken her out the night before. While we were dancing, my partner grabs my shoulders, prompting me to jump up and down, which I thought was fun. I did the same to her and thought I could lift her up a bit. She left in a hurry right afterwards and I was so confused. Turns out I grabbed her too hard and bruised her arm. She's extremely upset at me and was triggered because her dad would bruise her in the same way. She's already going through a hard time, which I've been trying my best to support her through, and this just makes everything so much worse. I think it's completely valid for her to be upset because she's in physical pain, which I take full responsibility for, but she's calling it abuse and I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Trying to explain myself just makes things worse. Next story. Husband, 27M, told me, 31F, he got an arranged marriage with me because his family threatened to disown him. I am an only child. I went to an all-girls school and then a women's university, so I've never interacted with many men besides family members. Although I am not unattractive, I have never dated. I had been trying to get an arranged marriage without much success. Finally, I met my husband and I was smitten. He was very handsome and charming and funny and kind. We've been married for a year and he confessed recently that he can't keep up the act anymore. His personality is different. He told me that he had to get an arranged marriage with me because his family threatened to disown him. His family is wealthy. He had a girlfriend and they found out and he had to break up with her. I felt really bad because we had come into this marriage for different reasons. We agreed to stop acting like husband and wife at home since it was too much for my husband. But the way he behaves makes me confused. One moment he is extremely clingy and close and the next moment he will be cold. I don't know what to expect. He makes a lot of plans to go out and then he is over the top with our married act. He complains that I am very quiet now and we're not close anymore. I don't know how I am supposed to behave. He complains a lot about things. How do I interact with my husband when his personality is so mercurial and I don't know what he wants? Next story. My boyfriend, 25M, gave me 22F diet pills for my birthday. Hello, this is my first post, sorry if there is a typo. My boyfriend, 25M, gifted me diet pills for my birthday. Just to mention, I never once asked for any kind of diet supplement or anything. I am not obese or overweight, I'm just not supermodel skinny, I'm just average, normal, I don't have a flat stomach. I pretended to be happy when I received them because I didn't want him to think I was ungrateful or childish. I don't really mind if he gets me a gift I don't like, it's just this particular gift made me feel so insecure. I just don't know if maybe it is a cultural thing, since he comes from Korea, so maybe it is normal over there to gift diet stuff, but in my country it's considered quite rude to gift people something like this. I feel like he is calling me fat. In the past, He said he doesn't want our relationship to be about money, so I never really expected grand gifts as long as they are meaningful, but this feels very insensitive. Should I voice how I feel to him or do I sound childish? Next story. Girlfriend, 27F, demands $140,000 pocket money from me, 27M, to marry her. Been together for 3 years. One day she heard her friends had a $140,000 wedding ceremony. She thinks she does not need a fancy ceremony, but I need to pay the same amount of money because everyone does that, so she decides I should pay her $140,000 as pocket money. I said it's ridiculous in every way. Then she claims it's her compensation of giving birth because having a baby will have a negative impact on her career and health. I still think it's ridiculous. I mean, I can fully support you and take my responsibility in any cases, and if you have an emergency, I am so willing to pay that money to save you. But give you $140,000 so that I'm allowed to marry you? Am I too stingy? Edit, sorry, I forgot to mention that we are both Chinese, so there is a cultural thing. But this $140,000 pocket money is not considered as dowry in traditional sense. It's her own idea and not her parents'. We live in US, so it is USD. Edit 2, thank you guys for all the comments and suggestions. When I tried to calmly talk about it as some of you suggested, she started to say, the quality of my life won't be affected if I leave you, right? I can live very well on my own, and she started to question why we are even together. It reminds me of something in the past. I thought she was joking, but now it seems maybe she was serious. She used to want kids very bad, but since we were both in graduate school, I suggested that we should wait till we get stable jobs first. Then she said I should have just been with an older and wealthier man. Guess it's time to make her dream come true. Edit 3, just broke up. Wish I could find a woman with a soul the next time, someone I would call her lover and partner without any doubt. Next story. 61M found ultrasound pictures of 58F from a long time ago. Together 39 years. Should I forget I found them? I 61M just found in the closet with all our family pictures 5 ultrasound pictures with my wife's 58F name on. The date was from the late 90s, vague for obvious reasons. This dates and her name are imprinted in the thermal image from the hospital ultrasound. She worked in a hospital at this time. My kids were from the early 90s and we lost one between the 2 we had. We have been married 35 years now. I don't know how to feel about this. She never said she was pregnant, and I doubt we even had sex the year of the ultrasound. We had a dead bedroom for 25 years and we would go at least 6 months between and sometimes over a year. I always felt she was cheating on me from the marriage early on, when she did, in the 80s to early 2000s when we got cell phones. Technology in the 90s didn't exist, so there was no way you could know. Should I just let this go? I'm not sure how she will react to me showing them to her, or accusing her of something that obviously did happen. Maybe it was mine and she didn't want to say she lost another one, or maybe it was the surgeon she worked with and talked about all the time. I know this will eat at me and am in therapy, but I think I need to know. Any advice what to do? Next story. My 37F fiancé, 39M, had an argument over who should greet who at the door. Posting is throwaway as my fiancé knows my username. Fiancé came home yesterday after a job interview, and I was in the kitchen watering our plants. I work from home and had just finished work. He greeted me verbally, and I said, "Hey. I'm watering the plants back here," so he knew where I was. I assumed he'd come back to the kitchen to hug me, usually he does, but this time, he didn't. I continued watering the plants and I heard the shower go on. 20 minutes later, he came to the kitchen and didn't say anything. I said, "Why didn't you come say hello? What's wrong?" And he said, "Was it really that important for you to water the plants at that moment? Why couldn't you come to the door to greet me? You knew I had an interview today." I didn't say anything because I was honestly confused, then got pretty frustrated. I've never thought about who greets who first, because it's never been an issue before. I work at home and he has never expected me to get up from my chair to greet him, though I definitely have done that. Also, for context, he called me twice that day, while I was working, for some feedback on interview questions. I answered and helped him both times, and I also called him after his interview to see how it went. I tried to discuss this with him afterward, and he shut down completely after simply saying, "You knew I had a lot on my plate today and you didn't greet me because watering the plants was more important." I said I was just doing a chore at home. If I came home and you were in the middle of doing something, I would never expect you to drop everything. I would come find you as I normally do. And you do the same for me. It felt like an incredibly childish reaction and not like him. He ignored me for the rest of the night. I'm definitely an overthinker, but in this case I have no idea what the heck is going on. This isn't like him to start an inane conflict like that, but he does tend to stonewall during conflict. The fact that it even became a conflict is embarrassing. What could be happening with him? Could he be having cold feet for the wedding? Update: thank you for all the responses. When he came home from work today, I was on the phone and he came to kiss me on the forehead. He opened up the conversation to what happened the previous night and apologized for acting childish. He didn't bomb the interview, he actually was offered the job on the spot and was extremely excited to tell me, and felt rejection when he called out to me twice and heard no response. I told him that his feelings of rejection were upsetting to me, but illogical because I'd helped him throughout the day and he should assume better of me based on how I treat him, and the stonewalling was 100% unacceptable. He has agreed to do couples counseling to help work out communication issues before the wedding. Next story. My husband's 35M drinking just ruined my 36F birthday in Vegas. Well, today is my birthday. My husband was in a conference until 2 and the plan was for him to meet me afterwards at the Venetian. 2 rolls around and I don't hear from him. I try calling and texting multiple times with no reply. This goes on an hour and a half. I get concerned that maybe he has lost his phone or something, and I'm also worried about his well-being at this point, and so start making my back to our hotel room at Paris, so we can reconnect. I walk into the hotel room to find my husband but naked on the floor, incredibly drunk. I kept asking him, what the hell did I just walk in on? And he was so drunk and stupefied that he literally couldn't get a sentence out. He sloppily started trying to get dressed and completely toppled over onto the floor. I hate it when he gets like this, so I just left because a complete drunk is the last thing I want to deal with on my birthday. He also gets incredibly belligerent and loud and caused a scene yelling at me as I was walking away down the hallway. We have dinner reservations in an hour and have prepaid for a helicopter flight over the Strip. Needless to say, this absolutely is not going to happen now, and I am disgusted at him for getting so drunk like this on my birthday and completely ruining it. He has been drinking non-stop for the past 3 days and I really hoped he'd be able to control himself today. I don't know what to do with myself now. I am so upset with him for doing this on my special day. Looks like I am spending my birthday alone and upset. I can't even just take my butt up to the room because I don't want to see him if he's still there. I don't know why I'm posting this, maybe just looking for some words of encouragement to try to still enjoy my birthday on my own. Edited TOADD. After a few hours I went back up to the room. Tried to get inside and my key will not work, so I believe he has now locked me out of the room. I know he's in there because when I try calling him I hear his ringtone. Now I am not sure if he is literally so cruel that he has locked me out of the room or if he is in there completely blacked out in a drunken state and doesn't hear me calling him and banging on the door. Considering getting security involved now because I do not know what all he drank and or took. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel or posts.